is Elizabeth Hallard, a sales agent with Erie Metropolitan, and tonight I'm going to be telling you how not to get burned in a real estate transaction. How many of you still get scared when you come up here? I know I do. But what you have to do is put it in perspective. You could be buying a house right now. Right? And personally, the thought of investing all of my savings into a property is a lot more scary than getting in front of a group of sympathetic fellow stage-frightened classmates. Tonight I'm going to tell you how you're protected when you're in a real estate transaction. I've been an agent for 2 years, and I have taken the time to take many ongoing educational classes, including my favorite, boot camp for real estate agents, 6 weeks. And I have counseled many first-time home buyers, and so I know what people are afraid of. According to the Northwest MLS, this is the state agency who compiles all real estate activity in Washington State, the average sales prices on Snohomish County residents last month was $220,000. Now, okay, that's the average. We learned about averages. There's a couple probably $1 million properties in there, but the median is $200,000, and this is a lot of money. This is the main reason that buying a house has been referred to one of the scariest things we do. Well, I believe that nothing can quell a lot of this anxiety like knowledge. Since many of you indicated that you'll be buying a house within the next 5 years, I thought it was important to address some of the issues you have concerns about. Tonight I will be addressing concerns directly raised from the analysis. For instance, the 3 things are going to be agency disclosure, so you can ascertain who is representing you in a real estate transaction. The second is property disclosure, how to know you're not buying a lemon. And actually, those are the 2 things. I had to cut out the third. Time. So first, let's talk about agency disclosure. Historically, this has been a point of contention because lots of buyers are walking away from real estate transactions feeling burned and uncertain as to whether anybody was representing their interest in the deal. According to the Real Estate Fundamentals, this is a textbook used in the Washington State Real Estate Certification course, they had to introduce new forms into the transaction where the point was to really specifically address who's representing who, and this has to be discussed and filled in. And I'm going to back up a second and tell you why this is such a big deal. It seems simple enough, right? There's 3 major players here. There's the listing agent, who is hired by the sellers to sell their property. There's the selling agent, the agent representing the buyers, and there's the commission. Now, a lot of people don't know this. There's lots of you who own homes, and you do know this. The commission is paid for by the seller, and it is split between the 2 offices. So, traditionally, most people have a listing agent and the selling agent. They come together representing the 2 parties. But what happens when the listing agent sells the property? At that point, this agent has become a dual agent. You know, agents love this because if they're the only ones, they're dealing with the buyers and the sellers, they get the whole commission. And so there's been instances where agents aren't very clear on this, and they try to tell you this is a great deal, I'll throw in part of my commission, but really, you don't have someone who's looking out just for you. When does this happen? If you're driving down the street on a Sunday afternoon and you see an open house sign, you go in, fall in love with the property, and you tell the agent, I want to buy it, let's do this. You will get this form, but I've seen really watered-down versions with some agents who don't have that much integrity, where it's, you know, this is just sign this. And so the first thing you got to do is read everything you sign. And according to this pamphlet, but we're trying to really break down on this from happening. So you're going to get this. You have to by law, and if you don't, make fuss, because what this is a pamphlet that explains exactly what agency law is, and it spells out what you can expect from your agent. So to avoid feeling like you weren't represented, what you have to do is hire an agent and don't sign anything or do anything unless your person is there representing you, because that way you don't get fooled into this isn't a sales contract, it's a I'm holding the property for you. I mean, there's a bunch of slimy tricks, and that's why real estate agents don't have that great of a reputation. So I hope this clarifies how you can ascertain who's working for you. Next, let's talk about property disclosure and how you can know what you're buying. You have 3 outlets. There is first the Form 17, which is a required form, which is about 5 questionnaires. Then you have the option to have the inspection, and third, you can get a home warranty. First, about the Form 17, I'm not going to show you all pages, but this is a list of questions that's filled out by the sellers, and they tell you any known defects they know of the house. And it's yes to no or I don't know. So this is good to go off of, but you don't base your whole intake on the property on this form alone. But it's required, you have to have signed this off in order for the contract to be binding. And so to really know what you're buying, I strongly recommend you get the home inspected. And according to the Form 17 MLS, which really I thought I had it, it tells you why you want to do it. And this is hiring a professional to come into to this house, and they'll take an unbiased inspection of the home. And once they're done, their report is a hefty thing, and it takes, the person who I usually work with, Lou Reed, it takes them like 4 hours, and they go through the house from top to bottom, and they can give you a statement, the condition of the house and everything inside of it, identify what items need to be repaired or replaced, and it will estimate the remaining useful life of the house and the stuff. And one thing to note on this is if they say the roof is and you can be sure that you didn't fall in love with the lemon. And just briefly, it's a safety net 1 minute after close, 1 minute. Just covers things that may go wrong inside the house a year afterwards. And so you can know that it's usually don't even need it, but I usually throw that in for my buyers so they know that they have something to fall back on. So if you do all these things, the 3 things I named, you're gonna be okay. So to summarize this speech, be sure you know who's working for you and looking out for your best interests. The best way to do this is to hire an agent, and don't do anything property-wise without him or her. And if you're nervous about buying a lemon, know that you have these 3 outlets to know what you're investing in. You have the Form 17, the inspections, and getting the home warranty if you're still unsatisfied. See, buying a house doesn't have to be as scary as getting up here, okay? By being informed and having your concerns addressed, you can focus on the bigger picture. You're not just buying a house, you're buying the home you're going to be coming home to every night and creating memories, and that's really what you should be focusing on. And as long as you have your concerns addressed, it doesn't have to be as scary. So I hope that with this presentation, you address any questions you still have, and that you are a confident and educated participant in your next real estate transaction. Thank you. Are there any questions? Yes, please.
Is it important to get an inspection with a newer?
It doesn't happen very often because you have the builder right there and they're making statements on the Form 17. They can't really have I don't know. And but sometimes the only time I say I'm on the fence with is condominiums because that's I get the home warranty for them because anything is going to be taken care of in the association like the roof and stuff like that. But otherwise always. Yes.
I thought that the banks required you to
No. No, because they have their own appraisal that comes out. And sometimes inspections and appraisals but the inspector you pay for, and the appraisal is when they come and make sure that the house that they can get their money back on it if they have to. Yeah?
When did it become law that we get those pamphlets that you showed us?
This has happened actually with, I guess, the last 5 years. I think it's within the last 5 years. It doesn't have a date on this. I was trying to track my broker down, and he's kind of flighty, so I couldn't tell you that. So if any of you guys have any other questions, notice I didn't give you all business cards, but I hope that if you were Thank you.